Hello, YouTube. Hey, welcome on in. We're coming into the next episode. Dude, we're just jumping into it. It's not like we're trying to power through. We're literally trying to take our time. It's just, I can't stop. I can't stop. Also, Winter, hi, good morning. Are you doing okay? Are you guys doing okay? I hope you guys are. We're just jumping into the next one, man. This is addicting. This show's addicting now, dude. It just hurts in all the right ways. All right, guys, let's go.
12月、クリスマスが近くなった頃、姉京子から再
Morning,
び
Nick. How
電
you
話が来
doing?
た。
Bruh.
忘れ物？時計？あった。
Bruh. I hate to say this, but no way. Unless she was just like completely forgetful or whatever, that just sounds like a plant to get him to come see her. Like, I had an ex that would do something similar where she would like drop stuff off, like in my place whenever she'd come visit, in order to get me to go and see her, or in order to, for the excuse for her to come back and see me. Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, oh. I mean, it might be she's just forgetful, but I don't know, dude. I've encountered some fucked up scenarios in the past. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Crowdless? Also, yeah, exactly, man. Oh, why'd you gotta say that?
だから駅前のメックで待っててって。
いやよ、あんな騒がしいとこ。なんであんたんちじゃダメなのよ。
なんでって。
今何考えたか当ててあげようか、レイ。冗談よ、怖い顔。
Bro.
ねえ、年末はどうするの？帰ってくるんでしょ？
いや、対局が結構詰まってるし、勉強しないといけないから。
対局？あんたの今年の対局は24日の安井さんとの順位戦でラストでしょ？あ、そうそう。安井さんといえば、ついに離婚決まったらしいわね。普段は腰が低くて気も弱いのに、負けると飲んで暴れてギャンブルでしょ？奥さんも今までよく我慢したわよ。
Bruh.
かわいそうなのは娘さんよね。怖かったでしょうね。負けるたびに別人になっちゃうお父さんと同じ屋根の下だったわけでしょ？
ああ、嫌だ。
What is it? Why? For her, what is this game of mental chess that she tries to play against him? As a person, as a therapist, that's what I'm trying. It'll be published as soon as I'm done streaming, Nick. It takes a little bit. As a therapist, that's one thing that I'm actually genuinely curious about. Like, what does it mean for her to do this? Why is she even doing this? Because clearly she keeps bringing up the concept of home to him. Like, he can't stray too far away. It's sort of like one of those dogs that you have microchipped, you know, and that you're like, oh, there he is. We know where he is. We have the paw app. We can track his location. Ooh, you know, like that type of thing. It's a weirdly discomforting moment from her. Good morning, Foranoda. How you doing? Like, encountering someone like her, and as I said in the past, I've encountered a lot of people like her, and for me, it's like, she just irks me, dude. She irks me like no tomorrow. I don't even know how else to say it.
娘さんが言ったんですって。 クリスマスまではパパと一緒にいたいって。
たまらなく嫌だ。
Yeah.
泣かせるわよね。そう思わない？
べったりと張り付くような姉の物言いが。
ねえレイ、聞いてる？
何より
ちょっと。
こんな毒をはらんだ言葉ですら。
マフラー飛んじゃうわよ。巻くならちゃんと巻きなさいよ。
聞いていたいと思う自分が。
子供って。
I'm gonna say something, and this might be. Let me cook for a second, right? This is how I can tell that he may not acknowledge himself as so, but like a therapist looking in would question this, or would actually say that he's gone through a lot of trauma and has sort of like the victim, like, you know, when a person's gone through a lot of shit, especially domestic and physical violence shit, and they're with like the person that would do that to them, he could leave at any moment. Why doesn't he? He could have been like, he could have even said, hey, I'm just gonna leave your watch outside my house, get it there, or something, right? Why doesn't he? And this isn't me attacking the character. This is me quite literally saying that because of everything that's happened and him trying to find his ground and literally learning and trying to grow, but also encountering something like this while still not healing, dude. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And freeze is a big option. A big thing where our boundaries just fall down and we still might have that soft spot for someone, hate everything they have to say about us, but understand that like they're trying to like connect or maybe even learn or try and find like how can we put up these boundaries for them.
ってかわいそうよね。だって親を選ぶことはできないもの。ああ、でもそうね。あなたは違ったっけね。自分で親を選んだんだものね。他人の家の父親をね。
Oh god, dude, you're still daddy issues 101 here.
ああ、いいぞ。
ちょっと何よこのデカクマ。もうお父さんなら私も中学生なのよ。おお、ゲームボムだ。
Game bomb.
この家の子なら、騎士を目指す人間なら、その美しい駒の持つ価値が、意味が、父の胸の内がわからないはずがなかった。
どうだ、レイ。お前もおもちゃとかの方が良かったかな。い
え、ありがとうございます。すっごく嬉しいです。
わからないはずがなかった。
Dude.
姉が、弟が、その時どんなに傷ついたかも。
ねえ、切ないわね。勝って帰ってきた。
this is what I find interesting, right? Because in that moment, that's a moment of pain as a kid if you saw your parents do something like that. But it's not the kid's fault. You know, and as adults or as growing adults as they are, I find it interesting that she still latches onto him to feel what she needs to feel. Does that, people do this and that doesn't make them a bad person, a bad character, bad anything, right? For me, there's no such thing as a villain, right? There's many shades of gray in this world. And people have been through a lot of shit that have gotten them into these shades of gray. And sometimes for one person, what's a crisis may not be a crisis for another thing. This show doesn't pull its punches, that's for sure. Yeah, for another. Absolutely, dude.
最後のクリスマスの思い出にぴったりなのはどっちかしら。
体育と音楽以外はまあまあかな。つうか、数学と物理とかすげえいい。ってなわけで、ほい、 9時30分までに千駄ヶ谷だろ。急がないと。しかし忙しいな、お前も。終業式まで対局とは。出席
She's
人数はギ
21.
リ足りてるけ
Hey.
ど、3学期これ以上対局増えるとやばいかも。気をつけてね。
負けろと。いや、生活かかってるんで。
ところで今日終業式終わったら、うちのクラスのやつらクリスマス会とかやるらしいんだけど。お前知
Oh.
ってた？
ええ、聞いてませんとももちろん。教えないでくださいよ。
ま、こうなったら仕方ねえな。お前さ、対局終わったら戻ってこね。男二人でむさ苦しくケーキ食いながら将棋でも。って振り返ったらもういねえし。
Bro, you know what this has just inspired me to do and think up? Sorry, I'm looking at some of the characters that we've been introduced, and this is a little out of the show. So like from here to whenever I say come back type of thing, you guys might be like, what? I would love to build like literally like this is gonna sound wild, and I know it's gonna sound wild. We know a lot of these anime shows or a lot of shows in general take place in school, right? What if each class had a different thing, like different concept, a different theme? It's still the same school and whatnot, but it's like everyone's going through something different, right? In every classroom. I think it would be interesting to show sort of like how in some aspects you might have a rom-com situation happening, and another one, you know, you might have a character that's going through insane like levels of depression and whatnot, and have the interactability between like things inside of this environment coming in and out, even as background characters. You're seeing that life is still progressing and still happening in a situation like that. I think that would be fun as heck, like through an introspective mind, to show that like, yeah, our like the characters that you're paying attention to in class 1A, you know, they're going through, let's say, a pretty dark period of introspection. They have a lot of like, you know, your main character is going through a very traumatic moment, so on and so forth. In the background, you might see this girl running with bread in her mouth going to like class 1C, and class 1C is a rom-com, you know, and you get to see or like you go to the teacher's office and you see our main man here talking about like, you know, the game with the teacher, or so on and so forth. That would be so cool in a way of interactive, like, you know, world building and interactiveness that would be out of this world. Not by tropes, because you don't have to go by tropes. Well, no, it's just a person's story. So it doesn't have to be tropes. It can literally just be a character story, right? They go to school just like we do regularly. And a person's story is centered sort of around that school, going home, their friends, whatever, right? But at school, you'll see other characters roaming around from like other series that take part in that school, you know, just a different classroom, or maybe even the same classroom. It would just be a cool way to keep building out.
いつ頃からだろう。クリスマスを苦しいと思うようになったのは。ある時ふと思ったのだ。通知表みたいだと。
It's like a report card.
この1年間、友達に、家族に、親に、どれだけ愛されたか。どんな風に愛されていたのか。安い六段。
Yeah, Finfran, exactly.
せめてクリスマスまでは一緒にいたいって言ったんですって。せめてクリスマスまでは。
Oh.
勝って帰ってきたお父さんと負けて帰ってきたお父さん、最後のクリスマスの思い出にぴったりなのはどっちかしら。ねえ、レイ。
That's not his responsibility. That's so Like Bocchi the Rock and Slow Loop being in the same universe. Are they? I did not know that, Passy Sucker. I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool. But I was going to say, when it comes to a scenario like this, we can only impact others' feelings and behavioral changes so much. It's up to them to change that as well. And I think that's a big aspect that a lot of people don't, a lot of people feel like they can change the world or they can fix others. That might not necessarily be the case, right? We can't fix everyone. And people have to struggle sometimes in order to grow. I think that's one of the rough parts to know about the human experience, A fishing anime?
時間になりました。
時間になりました。
時間になりました。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。
Or Cusco played? Oh, dang. Oh, dang. I didn't know that, Passy Sucker, dude. That sounds awesome. This music, man. Oh, man. Fuck.
負けました。
I was holding my breath for like the end there, dude. Like, it's a give and take. And I think that's with any big competitive game like that, dude. Oh, dude. Even the music, it provokes something in me. And I'm like, literally just show not letting any of the characters talk for this amount of time. In therapy, we have a hold for silence. Where we might start a session and I might not just say anything. That silence is so powerful. Can have so much weight. Try it in a conversation. I give it to you guys in this one. If you guys ever feel, people will try and feel the void of space that's needed. If you guys ever feel like you don't really have a lot to say, but they're expecting you to say something, or you know more than they're letting on, or whatever, try using silence. It's a very, very powerful tool in conversation and in showing stuff. This had a lot of weight. Oh my god. The amount of weight they put behind it with the music as well. Oh shit.
安井さんとの対局は夕方を前にあっけなく終わりを迎えた。
86歩から闇をつけて95に桂を打って。ああ、うんうん。確かにそうだね。気がついたら絶対指してたね。でもな、気がつかなかったんだもん。しょうがないよね。そりゃ君には分かったのかもしれないけどさ、俺には分かんなかったんだから仕方ないだろう。
独り言のようにつぶやき続ける安井さんの
That negative self-talk, dude.
かすかに混ざるアルコールの匂いが僕の胸をざわつかせた。序盤は櫓の駒組みで静かにゆっくり始まった。慎重に慎重に言い聞かせる声が聞こえるような指し方だった。ミスするな、ミスするな。
Fuck, dude.
しかし昼食休憩の後、安井さんにミスが出た。一呼吸遅れて安井さんも気づいた。いや、でもこの先8六歩から玉頭を攻められたらわからない。そして馬を引かれて粘られたら勝敗はどちらに傾くか。とその時、安井さんの輪郭が力を失って緩んでいくのが見えた。なんでまだ道は全て消えたわけじゃないのに。
It's a part of learned helplessness in a way. And I know I brought up this concept as well. Even in fighting, right? When I'm fighting with someone, you know, you guys, I've already said, like, I can't see. If I take off my glasses, I'm pretty much blind. It's the best way for me to say it, right? Mods, can we get rid of this person? Kill this man, mods. But when it comes to a scenario like this, I know what a weird message to come into. When it comes to a scenario like this, you know, in fighting, one of the biggest things that I can go ahead and say is like the impact that we have with one another and being able to recover from our mistakes. One mistake's the cone finish him. One mistake in a fight isn't the end all be all. Of course, if you get hit in the right place, it might be, but it's not the end all be all. You know, it's like a dance. It's come and goes, and sometimes you might step on your foot, but you got to keep going. And I think that's a big, important aspect of everything. How do you recover? And if you don't recover, why aren't you recovering? Dude, I'm asking so many questions. This is...
娘さんが言ったんですって。
ちょっと待って、なんで、どうしてそんな簡単に手放しちゃダメだ。集中を、意識を、
せめてクリスマスまでは
大切なものをこんなたやすく。
一緒にいたいって。
どうか頼むから手放さないでくれよ。
Yeah, he's just... Fuck.
負けました。
You strat with an early rush, yeah?
感想戦もこの辺でもういいだろう。今日はここいらで勘弁してくれ。
Bruh. Bruh. That silence is... Oh, his Christmas present. No!
安井さん、安井さん。いない。どっちだ。いた、安井さん。どこへ行くんだ。そっちは駅じゃないのに。
Bruh.
安井さん。これ。
俺んじゃない。知らん。
Bruh.
安井さん。
分かったよ、うるさいな。
うん
最後のクリスマスだったのにな。
Fuck. Him looking at his hands, dude. The biggest agent of change are our limbs that we can use to change our environment. Our hands or feet, something that we can immediately use. And it's often looking at them, dude. And I've seen people do a lot of introspective moments by just staring at their hands as to what may come next. What is your next step? How are you going to move? Why are you going to move that way? And what does that mean for you to take those steps going forward? Imagine being taken like that. For me, the way he responded, it's like, oh, fuck, dude. Oh. TLC. The solitude of him trying to connect through something the way he connected with another person not being able to reach. And I have a bad feeling about our guy. Fuck. The silence in this show, dude. That's right, getting that run, dude. Fuck. Oh fuck, dude! What the? What the fuck, guys? I have like a lump in my fucking throat on this one. What the fuck? Oh, dude. Oh.
戦う理由がないと言いながら、本当は身の内に獣が住むのを知っている。周りのものを食いちぎってでも生きていくためだけに走り出す獣。戦いが始まればどうしても生きる道へと手が伸びてしまう。誰を不幸にしても、どんな世界が待っていても。
But that's because that's the only way that he knows how to survive. That's what his entire being for living is, dude. There are a lot of people who, through trauma, you know, someone passing away, you dedicate your life to something. And you have other people out there who use it as an excuse for something else, as a behavior, as a way to excuse your behavior for losing. You drink, you smoke, you know, play video games instead of getting your homework done, or trying to learn, or trying to do certain things, or you know, you decide to start doing something else instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? Learning, growing, trying to be the best you that you can be. And oftentimes, as someone who runs away from things, seeing someone else run away does make me frustrated because I see myself in them and I want it to change. And that's a big thing. And I guess the big thing that I was going to get at is how many of you hold in your emotions until you can't, until it's too much and you have to fucking let it go and you have to explode it out. It's a way common thing, guys. And I have to say, you're not alone. You're not alone if you feel like him, dude. There are a lot of people out there in this world who feel like they have to put everything in a little glass jar and hold it in until it's too late. But guys, you're not alone. That hurt, dude. I got a lump in my throat, and like I was tearing up on the side, and I was like, dude, oh, for him to finally say that and have this moment of release. And at the same time, you have to remember his sister's the one that's been implanting these ideas, dude. If you, because think about it this way, you're never gonna have the background knowledge of a lot of the people that you interact with, right? But if you did, would you act differently around them? And if so, would that excuse any of their actions? That's tough, man. And my heart fucking breaks for our character because that's a lot of pressure, especially for a 16-year-old, especially for someone as young as him, dude. That's a lot of pressure. Or a high school year old. Fuck. Literally, fuck, guys. That's a lot. That is so much. Hold on, is that the end? That is the end. What a show, man. What a show. What an episode. What an episode to take us through a journey of self-reflection and how we tackle situations and how we tackle things. For you guys, what does it mean, dude? How do you guys tackle a lot of the situations in your life? How do you guys move forward? What steps do you take forward? I love the silence in the show. I love the fact that it actually takes the moments to go ahead and like take that step forward and do that silence and do what needs to be done. Like the silence for me, it speaks volumes about a show. If a show can have a good moment of silence and incorporate just the background music and what may be happening, fuck, dude. Not a lot of shows can do that. A lot of shows need flashy, action. This show doesn't need it at all.